as he's been doing for years, but is doing now with increasing levels of panic. Donald is doing everything in his power to distance himself from convicted rapist and sex trafficker of girls and young women, Jeffrey Epstein. At the same time, he surrounds himself with men who have committed or been accused of committing sex crimes against women and girls. Look no further than his cabinet. Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert Kennedy has a past of cheating, drug use, and reports of sexual misconduct. While he was running for president in 2024, The Guardian reported that a woman accused Kennedy of sexual assault while she worked as a babysitter for his children. This, of course, did not stop Donald from appointing Kennedy to head the Health and Human Services Department because he likes the company of like minded people. Then there's Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who was sued for sexually assaulting a woman in 2017. According to a police report obtained by CNN, the accuser said Hegseth blocked her from leaving a hotel room, took her phone, and assaulted her. He and the woman later reached a settlement that included a confidentiality clause and a $50,000 payment. Now let's talk about Donald's close political ally and his first nominee to be Attorney General of the United States, Matt Gaetz. As reported by NPR, Gaetz withdrew his name for consideration last year because of a slew of sexual misconduct allegations. Here's more on that from 10 Tampa Bay.
President-elect Donald Trump in a social media post saying he is greatly appreciative of Gaetz' efforts. He says Gaetz didn't want to be a distraction for the administration. Well, in recent days, an attorney for two women say his clients told investigators Gaetz paid them for sex on multiple occasions. One person also telling investigators they saw him having sex with a minor. Gaetz won his re-election earlier this month for his seat in the House, but he stepped away a week later to pursue the Attorney General job.
Now, I personally don't care if somebody pays an adult human being to have sex. I think prostitution should be legal, regulated, and taxed in this country. However, as soon as you bring a minor child into the picture, that's a different story entirely. And remember, we knew about a lot of this while Gaetz was getting ready to go up for a confirmation vote. The only reason he withdrew is because it seemed pretty clear that even this Republican Party wasn't willing to back a man who is sex trafficked and had sex with minors. Elon Musk, formerly Donald's senior advisor and the guy who has done a pretty decent job of destroying our country with his Department of Government Efficiency, is being sued by 8 former SpaceX employees. Allegations against Musk include exposing himself, inappropriately propositioning female employees, and promoting women who accepted his sexual advances. I have no doubt Musk also will just reach some kind of financial settlement, which includes a non disclosure agreement, and that will leave him free to continue such behavior. Donald's longtime senior advisor, Jason Miller, is being sued by former aide A.G. Delgado. During Donald's 2016 campaign, Miller was Delgado's direct boss, and according to the lawsuit, quote, Delgado was subjected to a cycle of sexual coercion, rape, sexual assault, abuse, battery, sexual harassment, and sex trafficking, unquote. Political commentator Gina Bonanno discussed this case and provided further context on social media. Take a look.
And it's easy to believe that Miller would do something like this, given his history. This is the guy, remember, who's accused of surreptitiously slipping a morning after pill into the drink of a stripper that he had gotten pregnant. Another woman he was having an affair with.
That's a pattern with a lot of these men. It's not just one isolated incident, not just one accusation, not just one woman. It is behavior that in many cases has gone on for years or decades in some cases, which just adds credence to the accusations. Just a few weeks ago, Texas pastor and Donald's former spiritual advisor, wow, that must have been a heavy lift, a man named Robert Morris, pleaded guilty to child sex abuse. The Texas Tribune reported that the alleged abuse started in the 80s when the victim was 12. Morris was a traveling evangelist at the time and was staying with the victim's family. This is another pattern we see with people surrounding Donald. They are abusers of girls and young women, and it's hard to believe that all of it, after it stacks up, is just a coincidence. But before we go on, Donald is a threat to American safety and the safety of American women. We need to make sure that his associations with the most vile criminals among us is kept in the spotlight. So please like and share this video. And if you believe in our mission, please subscribe to the Mary Trump Media channel. Plenty of Donald's associates and or friends have been accused of committing violence in their own homes. MyPillow's David Miller, UFC President Dana White, and disgraced politician Sean Parnell have all been accused, credibly, of domestic abuse. Sean Parnell suspended his Senate campaign, which Donald endorsed after his ex-wife accused him of abusing family members during a custody battle. CNN wrote that, quote, she's alleged that Parnell choked her and injured their children. Parnell has denied those claims, which match allegations she made in 2018 during a hearing on a protection from abuse order she sought against him, unquote. Now, not accidentally, Parnell serves in Donald's administration. His title is Assistant to the Secretary of Defense for Public Affairs. This list could go on and on and on. Jeffrey Epstein just might be the most notorious and horrific of these criminals. But what does it say about the man at the center of all of this? What does it say about Donald? Not only that he has been friends, in some cases close friends, with so many people implicated in sex abuse or sex crimes or sexual abuse of children, but that he goes out of his way to rehabilitate them. Andrew Tate, who may be the most vile person on the planet, a former MMA fighter who, because of that, because he was really good at beating the shit out of people for a living, has amassed a huge social media following. He has tremendous influence and he is extraordinarily rich. He is a self-styled misogynist who has bragged about abusing women. Romania arrested him on rape and sex trafficking charges. He got out of prison while the case was on appeal. And where did he fly in a private jet? He flew to Florida, where Donald's DOJ bailed him out. So, what does that tell us about the man in the Oval Office? He doesn't just not care about the sexual abuse and sex trafficking of women and girls. He actually champions the perpetrators who commit those horrific acts against girls and young women. Why? Who's to say, really? Perhaps because he feels a certain kinship with them. Hopefully we'll find out. Please take a second and like and share this video. It'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.